with Breakbulk Events and Media. I'm here at Breakbulk Americas in Houston. We have just finished our opening session this morning, and I have our guest right here with me in the studio. I'd like you to meet Bentzel. He's the Commissioner of the Federal Maritime Commission. Welcome.
Thank you very much.
It's great to have you here from D.C. We feel honored.
Well, I don't know about that, but it's nice to be at Houston at the Breakbulk conference. So it's a really critical industry, and it's nice to see people out. I know a lot of the people that are in attendance, so it's nice.
Oh, well, that's great. I'm glad to hear that. So can you give me, let's start with, what was the one thing you'd like people to take away from what you said this morning?
I think the essential importance of the maritime industry in general and the critical role they play to our economy. I don't think people understand how connected our maritime services are to what we do every day, to manufacturing in the United States, to getting retail goods, to exporting products. It's all connected, and if it doesn't work, it's maybe one of the most critical elements of our economy, and so we need to make sure that it continues to function.
Absolutely. Now we know, particularly early on in the pandemic, there were a lot of challenges to the supply chain. Some of those certainly are still impacting the supply chain today. Can you give us an idea of where we are in terms of really getting goods flow back to normal?
Well, it's been two issues. It started off early in the process where we saw reductions of 20 to 30% of our maritime commerce at the ports, and then 2 or 3 months later, when the Chinese manufacturing base got back up, to increases of 20 or 30%. We really, at that point, didn't have enough intermodal equipment. There was not enough containers, and it started a process of congestion. And it's a process that's been exacerbated by the Suez Canal, additional COVID outbreaks in Southeast Asia, and continued sustained increases in cargo coming into the United States. So we will be in a situation for the foreseeable future where we're going to have challenges getting cargo through.
What's the answer there? What needs to happen to alleviate some of that?
You know, I think we're going to have to work with the industry. Breakbulk industry is a perfect example. They can provide services, surplus services. They should be looking to the retailers for opportunities to carry containerized cargo. We are going to have to do it on an ad hoc basis, port by port, just to overcome the challenges. And the information that I'm getting from the executives that are engaged in shipping is it's not going to stop this year. It's not going to stop into next year. Hopefully at some point we can get a breather and sort of take in enough cargo. But our supplies, the amount of supply that our retailers have is at all-time historic low. And so we need more.
Absolutely. Now, is that an opportunity for someone?
It is. It's a good opportunity. I was talking to someone about tires, automobile tires, and I said, well, you know, they could seemingly they don't need to go in a container. It seems that this is an opportunity for other segments, the breakbulk segment, for instance, to provide service. Not one of the things I mentioned in my speech today was, you should look at this. I urge you to sit down and see if there's a way you can handle this cargo and it can fit in, and rates are good. So
absolutely. And that's funny because it's almost like going back to the days before containerization, where tires were shipped, just in the hold.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting.
Well, they have technology. There's cargo handling technology the breakbulk industry has that's far more advanced, and some of the shipments that go on containerized vessels because they've always done that. It's historic, but I think there's an opportunity for the industry here.
Excellent. Well, that is good. So tell me, in your work in DC, what is the biggest challenge you and your staff are facing right now?
We don't have enough resources. We're a small agency. Traditionally, because there was a lot of capacity in the market, you didn't get that many complaints. You could sort of evaluate it. Right now, we are facing a situation where I did a thumbnail review of the investigators at the Securities and Exchange Commission, and the amount of investigators they have was far more than what we have. So
sure.
I think it was 150 for every $1 trillion of commerce, and we have about 10 for every trillion. So we're going to have to get more resources. We've been asked to affirmatively investigate, as opposed to passively sort of regulating the industry. So there's a lot of pressure. And so we'll have to come up with a way of either being more efficient or alternative ways of doing things. But we're under pressure to perform.
Absolutely, and I think that's something that we hear, at least across all of our industries involved in transport and logistics of project cargo. And it didn't just start with the pandemic, this drive for more efficiency to save money.
Yeah.
And I think, as you say, the pressure is just getting more severe.
It is. I mean, the project industry's been reliant, on just-in-time delivery, so that components would be manufactured throughout the world, and now, we don't have just-in-time service. So the pressures, the efficiency, the pressures to be efficient have in this case caused issues on how you can perform because of the supply chain disruption.
Right. Last question: how do you see your role over the next year or two? What things would you like to bring to the fore?
I think I would like to work on the amount of transparency that shipping companies provide to the public, way to be more efficient in terms of operational issues, especially at these large ports. I think we really need to take some steps to set up a national system of information that would be available to sort of try to replicate what you get in an airport, as opposed to what we get now, which is sort of ad hoc and piecemeal. And I want to be able to ensure that technologies that are out there are used, but I do think we need to look at what sort of information is necessary to make the public be able to use shipping more efficiently.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure that there are many people in this hall who would like to be involved in that. How might they go about doing it?
Well, I think we have to do everything publicly anyways. That's our mandate, and because of COVID, things have sort of been a little bit, we've retreated from that, but I'm sure we're going to use technologies to reach out and get public comment and work on how to come up with a better system for maritime transportation.
All right. Well, Carl, thank you so much for sharing this information with us, and again, we're just delighted to hear from you.
It's nice to meet you as well.